You may see Jaden Schutt doing things like this on a basketball court today. However, there was a time not long ago where all of this could have ended.
I had two injuries. I had a avulsion fracture in my thumb. Kind of got caught in another kid's jersey during practice, and that was October of 23. Didn't do anything about it. Kept playing, and then basically had a knee injury. So I had a left lateral meniscus tear in January of 2024. Basically, was just kind of making a move, and knee didn't feel right, and had to get evaluated. Got an MRI, and next thing I know, I had to get surgery 3 days later. So.
And what was your initial reaction when you realized how serious it was?
Yeah, so I remember getting a call, just obviously hearing the MRI results, and wasn't what I was hoping it would be. Kind of just hoping it would be all right, and it was just kind of be like a little meniscus pinch, and turns out it was a full tear. So had to basically evaluate the surgery options, and kind of just a little devastated. Obviously wasn't super high in spirits after it happened, so kind of knew it was going to be a long recovery ahead of me.
The journey ahead of Jaden was going to be tough, but he never really had any doubts that he would make it back onto the court.
It was definitely not easy. Obviously just watching basketball and not being able to play. I remember the hardest part was I had about 10 weeks where I couldn't step down on my knee because it got sewn together, and so I couldn't put any pressure on it, and just crutching around with the fractured hand, and that was kind of miserable, and but it made me really appreciate just playing basketball.
Was there ever a moment where you thought you may not return to the game?
No, there was never a moment where I knew I was going to recover. Now, the thing was, there was like a 19% chance of like not having successful surgery, and that's because of not letting the meniscus heal properly. But there was some concern about whether I'd had the same athleticism, the same kind of explosiveness. So that was kind of the main concern.
While there were concerns about the impact the injury would have on Jaden physically, it was also affecting him in a completely different way, but he found a way to make light of the situation.
Initially, it was kind of a negative on my mental, obviously just not knowing where I stood physically and how much longer it's going to take. Kind of concerned, will I be ready for next season? So there's a lot going on mentally, but at the same time, I thought it was a good mental break, just being away from the game, really just kind of finding myself who I am as a person, and not really putting too much value in basketball. So I think for about 4 or 5 months, I kind of forgot I played basketball. So it was kind of, it was all right for the mental. So
despite being able to make light of his own situation, Jaden still needed the right motivation and support to make his way back onto the court.
I mean, just really just trying to, obviously prove people wrong. A lot of people in my ear, even people I love, just being like, hey, like, you might not be fully back. It's going to be okay. And just kind of be like, no, like, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to push through it, and I will get back and come back stronger. So I transferred. And so coming in, obviously got a great training staff here, and that was really important. Great strength coach here, and really just kind of building me back, and really just being really supportive and positive throughout the whole process. And I would come in for rehab and obviously wouldn't have the best attitude sometimes, and really just kind of them picking me up and keeping me in line. And then, my mother, I remember the second she found out I was going to have surgery, flew out and was just kind of with me throughout that first couple of weeks of surgery. So, that was just really important to me, obviously just having someone who I love and be that close to me during that time.
And finally, after 9 long months, Jaden was able to make his return to basketball. How did it feel to finally get back on the court?
Yeah, no, it was a great feeling. I remember just playing some simple pickup, and I was just so happy to be playing. Yeah. So it didn't really matter if I was missing shots or whatever was going on in the game. I was just kind of happy to be running up with the guys. So it was it was just quite the buildup of just watching practice and really just wanting to play. And then that final, day I was able to play, just a lot of emotions. Yeah.
If there was like a certain feeling you could compare it to, is there something that you could compare that feeling to, getting back on the court, especially in an end-game situation?
Yeah, I remember just like, I don't know, just feel like being like a little kid, just being so excited. Kind of not really having any thoughts going through the head, just being super, super happy. Yeah, super, grateful.